Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to our channel. I'm Dad.
I'm Bab.
And that's Bab. I don't know what happened to Jazz.
I'm Jan.
But we are Fogarty and Friends. And what another lovely good morning. We have an exciting day today. And we have a much better phone now for much better content. Today we have an exciting day though. As I said, I have an interview with a gentleman that, if I understand correctly, just kind of speaks for the shelters, maybe. But either way, with all of my, my progress and everything I do, being a full-time single father, working a full-time plus management job, having my child at work with me so that way I can do such a thing, very well disciplined. They, from what I understand, want to know what I feel like the experience is around the shelter and how I feel about it. And, well, we all know how much I love to talk, and I can't wait to listen to the questions. I think it's going to be quite the experience. And it'll be around forever, So this will be the second interview I've done for an organization. The first one was High Point in Lansing. When Jazzy first come to live with me permanently because she had spent more time living with Mom. We did what they would call a reunification, even though we weren't actually being reunited. But because, Jazzy had such a hard time separating from Mom, they felt it was best, which as well as myself. But nonetheless, I'm in their literature now, forever, for people to read, So I'm hoping that I would like to think that when someone does an interview, it goes into some type of literature. I'll find out. But from what I understand, that's what's gonna happen with this interview, and it's a privilege. I've worked very, very hard the past 4 years to change my life and make a difference in those who live around me and or are just around me for even 2 seconds. Try to spread that positive energy. And I love positive energy. It's just such a good thing. And being able to spread that positive energy in a place to where everybody feels so negative and expresses everything so negative, it is nice to be able to show people that, hey, even when things are at what you would feel the worst, you can always make the best out of it. And it is very nice to be able to now be interviewed on my perspective towards things. So, we all know how much I love perspective. So, this is going to be fun. I'm very interested. I'll be picking Jazzy up from school today. That way I don't have to ride all the way up to KFC just to get her off the bus. It'll be much, much easier. Sorry I haven't put out content in a couple of days. The other phone we was using it took a poo. And so we couldn't add no content. But you know what? We are definitely adding content today and all these other days. And we have more good news. Jazzy is going to be seeing her mommy again after over a couple of years now. So that's going to be really cool. It's a new era to our life. I know I'm very excited for the both of them to start to get to know each other again. And, we just found this out a couple of days ago. So very excited about that. Well, I think perhaps I may be a little more excited than Jasmine, but it's more excitement for Jazz, not for any other reason. I think that a little girl definitely needs her mommy. I do my best to be mom, dad, but geesh, I don't exactly hold the attributes of mom. I do my best though, and I have zero complaints. But again, it's a beautiful day out here. As everybody can see, the bus is coming. We got all these amazing people at the bus stop. These kids are going to get... These are going to be the future of the world. These three children right here are the future of our world, everybody. Backpack, Birdie. Backpack. Birdie, backpack. All right, I love you. Oh, we love you. Mwah. Have a good day. Morning. I love you, Birdie. Learn something new. I'll probably pick you up from school, okay? Got it? All right, have a good day. Drive safe. I always tell them to drive safe, even though I feel like being a bus driver, clearly driving safe, in my opinion, would be something you're very good at, or you wouldn't take that responsibility upon yourself. Now I have my chauffeur's license, so now I can drive people around, like in big loads of stuff, but nonetheless, it's not an easy test. But I know when I was taking that test, I took that test because I know that I care about driving. I have, at 38 years old, I have 0 driving infractions. I've been pulled over twice. One time, it was when I had the Jeep, if anybody remembers. Actually, you probably don't remember it because I don't believe I started my YouTube channel until after I sold the Jeep. But I had a Jeep that was on like huge wheels, had a snorkel, had all other stuff, but it had some wire issues. So I hit a bump. I went to Greenville from Ionia to go get chicken from the Greenville KFC to bring to the Ionia KFC. And I hit a bump and my headlights went out. No, my tail lights went out. So obviously I didn't know. And then I ended up getting pulled over. However, because, I told the truth, obviously, but the officer seen me hit the bump and then my lights go out. He knew I was being honest. He knew that, I wasn't just being irresponsible and driving around with no taillights. So I was just asked to put on my hazards and go directly home. So I did so, and then just got the other vehicle and loaded the chicken up in that vehicle and then continued on my way. The second time I got pulled over, I had just got my license plate and the nuts and bolts that I prepared to use. By all means, I didn't just, go up there, get a new plate, and then have no nuts and bolts to put on it. They just were too big for them plate holes. So I had no choice but to drive without a plate to AutoZone from Secretary of State. And, well, literally, it wasn't that far. And I got pulled over. But again, I explained my situation and had all the paperwork to obviously prove that I was telling the truth, so I didn't get in any trouble. The truth is always the best way to go. If you tell a lie, what you think the good outcome might come out of it is never the good outcome, because whatever outcome it is based on a lie, so it can't be good. And sometimes telling the truth will bring an outcome that you definitely don't want, but in the end is the best outcome possible because it's what's necessary from the truth, and that's the only way to grow. And I've always told the truth. Anytime I've been in trouble with the law, I've told the truth. I've even had to bite the bullet from telling the truth. You know, sometimes I'm so, honest that it affects other people, but like, lying does not get you nowhere. And I think that's why I don't make friends very well. I make acquaintances and people seem friendly at first, but then I'm always so upfront and honest that, well, they just don't like me. And I don't go out of my way to be upfront and honest in the aspect of like not minding my own business. Trying to set this up for a second because I have to get this bike unlocked. But every morning lately I've had to take this here hot water and pour it down this sweet little bike lock. And give that a second to thaw out. And then gotta get the old handy dandy notebook. I still got this Mario sticker Jazzy gave me. But no, keep my key in my wallet. So, and then a spare key in my laptop bag. But, yeah, so, yesterday though, or no, 2 days ago, it was rough trying to get a key in there. And then my dumb butt decided to put cold water in my cup, so I suppose I succeeded, but it was a lot harder. But hey, we all know I love a challenge. My next thing I want to get once I do find a home and get situated and all that other stuff, I want to get one of those cameras that kind of just go on you. So when I'm riding around or doing my stuff or whatnot, I can actually do more adventurous videos, I guess. I like adventure videos. Right now I'm about to head to the post office and finally get my change of address. Something went wrong when I did it online, and when I talked to the post office, they said that like the name on my address didn't match the name on the card I used for payment. Like the addresses, no, not the name, the addresses didn't match, which was understandable because the PayPal card I used was my Fogarty and Friends business account, so it said Fogarty and Friends and then my address instead of, so yeah, it was the name. It said Fogarty and Friends in the address instead of Brandon Fogarty in the address, so they declined it, even though it said payment, went through, which I got reimbursed on my card and everything. So, whatever. But I'm just now finding out about this, and it's been, well, almost a month. But I was wondering, like, why haven't I gotten any mail? I'm waiting for, cards. I'm waiting for so many different things. Why am I not, getting any mail? Well, that's why. Which, because of all that, I never got the mail to go to, the court date that, Jasmine's mom set up to be able to start getting parenting time, which I wasn't in trouble. I wasn't necessarily required to show up in the aspect of, like, if I don't, I'd be in trouble. I would have loved to. And the courts knew my new address that I'm at now, by all means, but unfortunately, something got mixed up. They wasn't really sure, but I definitely wouldn't have been able to make it there. I mean, I guess I can't say that, because if it would have been a matter of knowing, I'm certain I would have put all effort into it. If it would have been a matter of I don't show up and there would be a warrant, well, then I would have left 2 days before and I would have walked there. But see, the only reason for me to really show up to something like that would be if I didn't want, the visitation to happen. And, well, I definitely do. I think it's great. I think that if somebody really does utilize the resources they have to be in their child's life, such as make a court date and take accountability, to me that's progress. So with the progress of accountability, I don't need to show up and say, hey, I don't want this. So I am very proud of Jasmine's mom for finally taking the step to do the right thing. I had a pretty long chat with her yesterday and explained to her, how little girl felt about the situation and how, that taking the accountability was a very big step in earning the respect that one deserves. We all deserve to have the respect that we earn. Now, people say, well, if you want respect, give respect. And I don't think that's necessarily correct. I think you should give respect without wanting respect. You should give love without wanting love. You should not hate without not wanting to be hated. Simply because just leading by example is all the respect you really need, in my opinion. So, I'm really glad to hopefully see a bright future for both, Jasmine and her mother. There's really not a whole lot I can do to help the situation at this point in time. Clearly, I'm not mobile, so I can't help with transportation. I can't have anybody come where we stay. So there's going to be a few ups and downs on my part, I feel, when trying to put in as much effort as I can to help my daughter, build a new relationship with her mother. Now, the entire time that, Mom has been out of the picture, which really I was supposed to go to the courthouse right after all was said and done and, file for termination of rights. But I didn't see that necessary. Jasmine's mom's not a bad person. We all make mistakes. But the entire time I've known that lady, I can't really think of too many, if really any, highly crucial mistakes that she made, besides towards the end, when obviously all went to heck. And I don't feel that somebody should lose their child because of their first real mistake. There's many people out there that have actually committed crimes and still have their child, such as myself. I wanted to be the next Tony Montana the first 36 years of my life. Well, maybe not 36, let's say the first 38. I am 4 years into my new way of life. And I realized, wow, what a fool I was. But we all know my past. I've shared it plenty of times. What matters is there's a brand new future for a little girl and her mommy. And hopefully her sisters, get to have the same, outcome as well. Their situation's a little bit different. Not my place to speak publicly on. But I hope that Jasmine's mother continues to do the right thing and build a relationship with her daughter to where perhaps she can build a relationship with her other daughters. You know? And I won't even say I hope. I'm going to do everything I can on my part to make that happen in the aspect of leading by example. You know, I shared a lot of information with Jasmine's mom yesterday that had to do with how I found the wisdom to change. You know, I shared with her the things that I study daily to keep myself disciplined and motivated, and I showed her and enlightened her on setting, you know, daily goals. And I only hope that she takes a look at the stuff that I shared with her. I suppose I'll never know, but if she were to, I'm absolutely certain that it would benefit her. Because in my opinion, I have done a million things worse than that girl has ever done. And I'm allowed to have my child, which I don't feel that I shouldn't be. I don't mean it like that. But I shouldn't even say I'm allowed. I'm a good father. So, like, there's no reason not to. And I'm not saying I'm a good father as if she's a bad mother. That's not at all what I'm implying. But I have an extensive criminal record. Because that's what I wanted to do my whole life. Well, most of it. Now, I don't mean I wanted to be like a criminal that hurt people or anything like that. But I enjoyed making money. I enjoyed making money all the wrong ways. And I realized as I grew up and I went to my cognitive thinking classes when I was, first deciding that I'm actually going to be a good person. And I realized the main thing that I enjoyed about all the crap I did was that it made me feel like people liked me. You know, when people were looking forward to you coming over and giving them what they needed, well, that's a good feeling for anybody, whether it's good, whether it's bad. It's darn near the same feeling when you hold the door open for somebody, you know? And that feeling became an addiction, you know? I don't like drugs, I don't do drugs, alcohol, whatever, you know, like, I experimented with alcohol heavily in my 20s, obviously. If anybody follows my channel and they know that, like, and obviously, being ADHD my whole entire life and not knowing, my impulsivity was off the hook. I did a lot of stupid things. And when I go back in retrospect and I think about every damn thing I've done that was stupid, I can visually remember thinking about it, knowing the consequences, knowing the fact that I could get in trouble, and just impulsively saying, oh well, I'll figure it out if I do. Oh well, I'll figure it out if I do. It was never that I won't. It was never that I can't get caught. I won't get caught. It was always just, oh well, I'll figure it out if I do. And that was impulsive thinking, was turned into impulsive actions, which turned into impulsive lifestyle, I suppose. But I didn't necessarily ever do anything impulsively, like just do it without thinking. You know, I always thought about it first. That's why I don't quite understand why I still made the choices I did. Except for the aspect of when you're the man, when everybody's looking forward to seeing you, why wouldn't you? Now, I don't say that like it's okay, but I literally mean, why wouldn't you? That's how I thought. Well, who's the moron now? Not me. Because I understand what I did, like how I did stuff, and now I succeed. Because now I put all that energy towards things that'll make a better me. Instead of comparing myself to other people and more or less just hating myself, I just compare myself to who I was yesterday and how can I be better? How can I be better than yesterday? And I tell you what, it's not that hard because we can always be better than we was yesterday. Always. I guess I would have to say it was a little hard at first because I thought, well, geesh, I'm so scheduled. I am very well disciplined. I literally do the same thing daily. It was a little off when we first got here because I didn't know where I was, so I kept taking wrong turns, if that makes sense. But I do the same thing daily, and I think that's the main thing I really love about where I'm at, is everything is scheduled, and all the staff are very, very adamant in the most special way. I love it so much about organization and schedule. And I still often hear, some people say when they ain't supposed to be doing what they're not, what they're doing, they're like, oh, well, I didn't know. And it's like, come on now. You've been here longer than I have. The stuff we are not supposed to do is literally talked about every day. The stuff we are supposed to do, that many don't, is literally like on every wall and bulletin board in the building that you literally cannot walk past. And I believe that's all set up for a conscious reason, which is another amazing thing. Like, there's so much being here in this, shelter that has to offer. And I don't expect to be here much longer. We just got an extension because obviously, I don't really see, unless somebody already comes in with a job and already comes in with income, how anybody could have first month's and last month's rent after finding a job, getting situated, being in a new town in a matter of just 30 days. It took me 14 days to get life back on track. That's fine. But it took, almost, let's see. I just got paid for my very first check for, less than a week. Less than a 40-hour week. I don't quite remember how many hours, maybe like 28 or 27 hours or something. But I just got that Friday. So that means today's Wednesday. It's been 30 days. That would have been 6 days ago, right? 5 days ago. So it took me 25 days to get a paycheck. I personally feel that is amazing. Especially because in order to do so, I used all that self-discipline that I always talk about. Got up at 4 a.m., got in my, my hour running, which obviously I have to run in place while I'm here. But still, all my exercise, my mindfulness, my meditation, my daily to-do list, then clean up, get myself 100% taken care of so then I can 100% take care of Jasmine. Then get up and get Jasmine 100% taken care of so Jasmine can 100% take care of Jasmine. Get her onto the bus. Then head off to work. Then, now that I've been talking to the bus driver, building a, friendship with him, I have it to where he'll just, pull up and I don't have to be out there waiting. I'll just be working, and then as soon as I see the bus driver, I'll just run out and grab her real quick. And now Jazzy, knows what to do very, very well. So then I just come in, she goes and does her thing. I give her my phone or my laptop, and she just does whatever. I don't even have to, guide her anymore. I have so much joy, and I'm so proud of her for how well she pays attention to the things that I teach her. Because truthfully, yes, there's often times I have to, tell her twice, but that's kind of a kid thing, I suppose. But when it comes down to being orderly and doing the things that are necessary so that we can succeed, she may put up a little fight at first, but it's not a big enough fight to where it affects anything at all. If she does start to get a little attitude or starts to try to push Dad's buttons, I just put an earbud in, turn on one of my podcasts, and use sign language. And she doesn't push buttons no more when I use sign language. So that was a big step for me. I've been trying to figure out a way to get, Jasmine to stop with her attitudes, which I see a lot of parents yell at their children, and I would be lying if I said that I have not had to holler at Jasmine, especially lately. Well, since, has kind of started since we've kind of been in the shelter. Now, I don't mean yell at her in the aspect of hollering, but I've had to take a deep tone several times because I will not blame her actions on other children, but I have noticed an extreme amount of disrespectful language that she is bringing home from school. And with me definitely not being okay with this, every time I try to explain this to her, all heck breaks loose. So, it's been a little troublesome in the mornings the past about 2 weeks. In some of my videos, you could definitely see the stress in my face. It has been rough. And it's been even more rough yesterday and today, with her now knowing that she's gonna be seeing Mom soon. I don't want to say it's a positive rough or a negative rough. I don't know. Well, I do know. It's obviously mixed emotions. But they're very loud emotions. And we're just in a place to where I keep trying to explain to her, we can't be so loud, honey. And boy, does she let Dad know how it is. But it will get better. I'm certain it'll get better. And that's why I know that I've been doing a lot better with my explaining stuff to her, because when she gets me frustrated, it's just hard to explain stuff. But now, instead of getting frustrated, I just listen to a podcast. When she's calmed down, then I try to explain stuff to her, which seems to work a lot better, which obviously that would work a lot better. But I have never... I'm not a girl, so I don't know girl emotions. We are wired differently, obviously. So girl emotions are different than boy emotions. That's science. And because she, well, whether it's in the background or whether she's sitting next to me, she studies all this brain stuff and psychology stuff and understanding the human body and the mind and different perspectives and what that means and voice opinions and so she's very, very intelligent now. And she uses her intelligence in a manner that's hard for me to comprehend sometimes, because I feel that it's like a female intelligence, and I'm a male. So it's been difficult. But we all know I love a challenge. And even this morning was extremely difficult. But I just, did my thing, and it's hard. I don't like not talking to my little girl. But if you're familiar with Love and Logics, there's the Love and Logic program. When your child's acting out so badly to the point to where inside of your head all you can do is scream, not out loud, but literally just inside of your head. That little voice you hear in your head, and you just go, ah, inside of your head. Well, instead of doing that, I've just, Love and Logic says just to tell them, hey, I don't like the way you are right now. I don't like being around you the way you are when you act like this. I don't have to. I am my own person, and I choose to be silent until you can choose to be respectful. And it's harder, I think, at least for me in this situation, because of everything that I said earlier with her understanding perspective and her understanding that knowledge is power. So when she says, well, if I want to act this way, I darn well will. Even though I know that acting this way is not correct, I understand that it upsets you. And if I'm mad at you, Dad, I want to upset you, because you're not doing as I want you to do. That's understandable. But then as she grows up, she'll realize that that's also not the correct way to handle our emotions. And that's not the correct way to speak to Dad. But I can't tell her that, because it'll just be a turnaround with, well, I'm my own person, and I will choose to speak as I want to. And I will never tell her that she can't speak how she wants to. That's one thing I won't do. I will instruct her to speak differently without telling her she has to, because I want her to continue this journey she has with being her own person. I think once you can figure out you're your own person, that's when you start to succeed in life. And she's only 7 years old and definitely identifies as her own person. There is no stopping that. And I embrace it. Excuse me. But by embracing it, there is definitely a lot of backlash. So, it's been fun lately. And this just started. I don't know. Well, I do know. When a child is 7 and 8, between 7 and 8 years old, they are making the decision of who they're going to be. They are dead set, and that's who they are going to be until they start to get into their, teens and get a little older and start to realize how the world works, and then they can decide what it is that perhaps they need to change about themselves, if in fact they feel they need to change anything. So, yay. But I'm proud of her though, because she's a good girl. She really is a good girl. And I truly feel that she's growing up very, very fast. And by doing so, it's a fun journey. It's definitely a fun journey. It's a journey that I'm honored to take. I'm on my way to the post office right now. So that way, like I said, finally do that change of address. So let's hope they're open at this hour. I really don't know if they are. The post office back home was open at this hour, but I don't know about around here. I do know that I love it around here. It's open, it's quiet, there ain't nobody around. I'm not even so sure that people normally just go walking around like I am. How can I put this in terms that don't sound disrespectful? I've been told many, many times so far that this is not the place that I should just be walking around. However, I disagree because, well, I'm good at walking. But I gotta go into the post office, so I guess I'm gonna let you guys go. I love you all. It's been a blessing talking to you. I got some things I gotta take care of. Have a wonderful day. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notifications. Let's make this next year. Let's double our subscribers. Let's go from 32 to 64. All right, I'm out.